This is Mac OS Ken.
Peers? What peers? iPhone production is full steam ahead, and are you sure you want your AirPods to do that? It's Wednesday, the 30th of September, 2020. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by BetterHelp, online counseling that's there for you. Get 10% off your first month with discount code MacOSKen at betterhelp.com/MacOSKen. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/MacOSKen. While lots of questions remain around the legal fight between Apple and Epic Games, we know one thing: it will not be going to a jury. When the two sides met in court on Monday, the judge running the case, Judge Yvonne Gonzalez-Rogers, expressed her desire to have the trial be a jury trial. That's because when it comes to the seemingly inevitable appeal, jury verdicts are less likely to be overturned than those decided by a judge. She couldn't order a jury trial, though. According to reporting around the case, either Apple or Epic would have to request a jury. They had until 5 p.m. Tuesday on the West Coast to make that request. It seems, though, that both Apple and Epic would rather not have the impediment of, what are those things called? Right, people. Mac Rumors quoted a statement shortly after that deadline passed, saying Epic and Apple have met and conferred, and the parties agreed that Epic's claims and Apple's counterclaims should be tried by the court and not by a jury. Therefore, with Epic's consent, Apple hereby withdraws its demand for a jury trial pursuant to federal rule blah blah blah. The parties respectfully request that the case, including any claims and counterclaims, proceed to a bench trial on a schedule determined by the court. Judge Gonzalez-Rogers has already said that'll be months hence. As it stands right now, they're likely looking at a trial date in July of 2021. It's hard to say whether Apple services had big trouble last night. Whatever the trouble they had, though, was spread over a lot of them. Every site covering Apple, including iMore, had word of outages or issues for a vast swath of Apple services, including Apple Music, Apple Arcade, the App Store, and seriously, this list goes on. Just looking at the chart, my guesstimate would be that somewhere between 1/3 and 1/2 of the services tracked on Apple's system status page had either a little red triangle or a little yellow diamond when I checked at 9:45 Eastern, 6:45 Pacific. As is the way, though, you may not have noticed a thing. When I checked, the system status page said Apple Music was down for some. Of course, I had to see if it was down for me, and it wasn't. Your mileage may vary, or may have. Looks like everything was back to rights just ahead of 10 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. Happy holidays for some means working through the holidays for others. Apple Insider ran a piece on Tuesday saying Foxconn is running production lines 24/7 and canceling holiday leave for employees to meet anticipated demand for iPhone 12. Yay? Citing a piece from the South China Morning Post, Apple Insider says the production push includes running operations at the Zhengzhou facility for 24 hours a day, as well as initiatives to make employees work for longer. Details revealed by employees, recruitment advertising, and local media reports reveal Foxconn is canceling holidays previously arranged by workers, as well as requiring them to take hours of overtime. You know, I thought it sounded brutal before, but now I realize it is. If you're looking for good news for the workers, the ones that have been there for a while are getting bonuses to stick around. Workers can only have 4 days off a month, though. The good news on the Apple side, it sounds like they're expecting strong demand. iPhone SE is seeing sizable growth in the Bundesrepublik. Johnny Evans at Apple Must highlights new numbers from Counterpoint Research that show strength for Apple's budget phone in Germany. This is smartphone sales plummet in Germany, and iPhone 12 draws near. Running down points from Counterpoint, Germany's smartphone market declined 27% in the June quarter versus the same quarter a year ago. It declined 15% in the June quarter versus the March quarter. One assumes both drops are due to COVID-19, though the market appears to be bouncing back. Samsung has held on to its 37% share of Germany's smartphone market. iPhone share of the market grew from 16% to 23%. That may well have been on the back of this year's iPhone SE. Apple Must says that was Germany's best-selling mid-range smartphone in the June quarter. And one might see all of this as a function of iPhone SE being at the right place at the right time, terrible though the time may be. Counterpoint's numbers show smartphone demand at the high end, $800 and over, taking a COVID-19 related hit. That segment dropped from 19% to 7%. At the same time, the segment for mid-range phones, $300 to $600, grew from 23% to 30%. While one might expect iPhone 12 to spur a buying surge, Counterpoint says folks in Germany anticipate holding onto their current phones for longer, though Apple Must says the report concludes that as governments move to prioritize economies over human survival, demand may increase. So far today, I have read to you 2 sentences that make me want to throw up. Where Apple's supply chain goes, so goes Apple manufacturing. It looks this week like a lot of that could be headed to India. Apple Insider highlights a Reuters report that says Foxconn, Wistron, and Pegatron have pledged investments on the subcontinent of $900 million combined as part of India's production-linked incentive scheme. Don't we think of schemes as bad things here in the States? Other parts of the world treat the word as interchangeable with terms like initiative or plan. It always sounds bad to me, but the name of the initiative, the plan, if you will, is actually Production-Linked Incentive Scheme. Anyway, the report says the PLI scheme offers producers cash incentives on increases in locally made smartphones over the next 5 years. The goal is to turn India into an export manufacturing hub akin to China. Hey, that's actually good news. Apple has been looking for a new China. The old one gets a bit troublesome at times. Speaking of, another one of those cost of doing business stories that makes one wonder whether business is worth doing or when the cost gets too high. Another piece from Apple Insider says Apple's in the process of removing RSS reader apps from the Chinese App Store. The report says the company is doing that to comply with government regulations designed to block illegal content. Of course, as Apple Insider points out, RSS readers don't contain illegal content. They don't really contain any content. Rather, the piece says the specialized apps are basically content aggregators similar to web browsers in so much as they are portals to information rather than content generators. Apple Insider spends a lot of time in the report puzzling out the why of the removals, but logically, it doesn't matter. The Chinese government said jump. Apple said how high, as it's required to under Chinese law. Cost of doing business. More news in a moment, but first a word from BetterHelp, online counseling that's there for you. This isn't the crisis line, this isn't self-help, it's real help, working with a licensed professional counselor on whatever's holding you back or keeping you down. At the same time, it can be more casual than traditional counseling, depending on the counselor you find. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist with whom you can start working right away. But if they end up not being a match, switching to a new counselor is easy and free. So many people have been using the online service that is BetterHelp that they're recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. If you need help, give BetterHelp a try. As a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting betterhelp.com/macOSKen. BetterHelp costs less than traditional offline counseling, but if you need it, financial aid may be available. Join over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health. Again, that is BetterHelp, H-E-L-P, betterhelp.com/macOSKen. One more time, it's betterhelp.com/macOSKen. And a big thanks to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's show. The fight between Apple and the health sensor maker Masimo is escalating. Masimo hopes it is anyway. iDownload blog says Masimo is suing Apple for alleged patent infringement, though Apple is trying to delay that suit. Masimo actually filed the suit against Apple in January, arguing that Apple had stolen trade secrets related to health monitoring for Apple Watch. The company says it was talking to Apple about partnering on health features for a smartwatch as far back as 2013. They also saw Apple's blood oxygen play for Apple Watch Series 6 coming, though Apple is said to have discredited such talk as internet rumors. Like those rumors about Apple doing a video iPod or getting into cell phones. Now, with blood oxygen being measured on Apple's chronometer, iDownload blog has Masimo saying that Apple is abusing its power in an effort to capture the market with the Apple Watch Series 6 and its new blood oxygen monitoring feature by trying to delay the lawsuit filed against it by Masimo. For its part, Apple does not deny trying to delay the suit. It says it's doing that because it thinks the patents over which Masimo is suing will be invalidated when re-examined by a review board. And finally today, one from the Careful What You Wish For file. Remember how excited people were for AirPods that switched automatically from one Apple device to another? Yeah, it seems that people are over that. Well, some of them anyway. A piece from Cult of Mac says sometimes the feature is useful, but other times it's really frustrating. While earbuds smart enough to know what you want to listen to and switch to that automatically sounds like a great idea, they're not actually smart enough to know what you want, working instead on a sort of if this, then that. So, says the Cult, if you find that this feature is more a frustration than a blessing, you'll want to disable it and return to switching manually. And they tell you how. I'll leave those instructions in the posts section of macOSKen.com. Find those instructions, follow them, and you'll once again have earbuds that are maybe just smart enough. Coming up in a few minutes, when asked about near-future tech that turns him on, Mike LaPlante is all about Tesla's Battery Day. His excitement isn't about the batteries themselves, though. Rather, it's looking at old technology in completely new ways. Hear more about it in a few minutes, wherever you get podcasts or on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/KenRay. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by BetterHelp. Get 10% off your first month with discount code macOSKen at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macOSKen.com or call 716-780-4080. We will talk again tomorrow. Until then, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.